You know, there have been seasons in my life when I honestly did not understand what God was doing. I've been through some deep refining fires, seasons where it felt like I was being stripped down to nothing. There were times when I battled addiction, times when I struggled with broken relationships in my family, and moments when God had to teach me patience, the kind of patience that only comes through pain. I've also walked through seasons where He revealed things in my heart that I didn't even know were there. Unforgiveness, pride, fear, things I had buried deep. And it wasn't that God had abandoned me. I know that He never does, but there were absolutely moments when I felt disconnected, when I couldn't hear His voice as clearly as I had before. Looking back now, I realize those were refining seasons. God wasn't silent, He was shaping me. He was purifying my heart so that His image could shine more clearly through my life. And that reminds me about the silversmith. When a silversmith refines silver, he holds it over the hottest part of the fire to burn away the impurities. But he never leaves it in there too long. And he keeps his eyes on it the entire time. When someone asked him how he knows it's ready, he said, "When I can see my reflection in it." That's what God does with us. The fire doesn't mean that He's angry, doesn't mean He's left us. It means He's working. He's refining us until He can see His reflection in our own hearts. When I read about the silversmith, I thought that was the most beautiful picture of the refining process. Refinement is part of God's purpose for our lives. Isaiah 48:10 says, "I have refined you, though not as silver, I have tested you in the furnace of affliction." God uses those seasons of heat not to harm us, but to heal us. Like a potter shaping clay, He molds and remolds us until we reflect His purpose. Jeremiah 18 reminds us that even when the clay is marred in His hands, He doesn't discard it. He reshapes it into something new. Maybe you're in that kind of season right now, where you're wondering why things feel so intense, why old wounds keep resurfacing, why you keep circling back, why God seems to be digging deeper than before. That's the process of refinement. He's revealing what's hidden, not to shame you, but to set you free from it. Psalm 66:10 says, "For you, O God, tested us. You refined us like silver." The fire of testing produces spiritual maturity. We need it to grow. James 1:2-4 says, "Count it all joy when you face trials of many kinds, because the testing of your faith produces endurance." But that's hard though, isn't it? Joy in trials doesn't come naturally. But over time, I've learned that every test is also an invitation to grow. When fighting addiction, I had learned to depend on God one day at a time. When I was rebuilding relationships in my family, I had to learn humility and grace. Peter says, "Our faith refined by fire is more precious than gold." Gold is valuable, but faith that's been tested and proven is eternal. When God allows the heat to rise, when He turns it up, it's not to punish us, it's to purify us. He's burning away the fear, pride, impatience, and everything else that's keeping us from reflecting His heart. Romans 8:29 says we are predestined to be conformed to the image of His Son. Refinement isn't about destruction, it's about transformation. Which leads me to my third and final point. Refinement leads to renewal and purpose. Romans 12:2 says, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." When we come through refining seasons, something changes in us. Our thinking shifts, our priorities realign, we stop fighting for control, and we start trusting God's timing. Philippians 1:6 promises, "He who began a good work in you will be faithful to complete it." That means even when we don't understand the process, we can trust the purpose. 2 Corinthians 4:17 says, "These light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." When you come out of the fire, you are not the same person who went in. You come out wiser, humbler, stronger, because the process purified your heart and anchored your faith. So if you are in a refining season right now, don't despise the process. Trust it. God hasn't left you. He's watching you closely. Just like the silversmith, his eyes are on you the whole time. And when he looks into your life and he sees his reflection, that's when he knows you're ready. Stay in the fire. You're being refined, not destroyed.